another mantra I love is the words you speak become the house you live in. So if you're constantly speaking negatively, you're going to live in a negative shroud of a thought, negative cloud. And it's just like, it's really bad. You have to teach yourself to love yourself, because at the end of the day, we go
That
out.
is a New York Times bestselling author, radio show host, and content creator, Christina Najjar, who's known as Tinx by her followers. She's got more than 2 million of them, thank you very much, across Instagram and TikTok, where she offers advice and shares her takes on pop culture. So now Tinx is out with her debut novel, Hotter in the Hamptons. The book follows a New York City content creator. Her name is Lola Fine, great name, who flees to the Hamptons after being canceled, only to learn that her neighbor for the summer is a culture critic who wrote a scathing, and scathing is a word here, expose about her. So the pair unexpectedly start a summer fling, oh my, and Lola embarks on a journey of self-discovery. And first on CBS Mornings, we love when this happens, Tinx joins us now. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Bravo to you for this book, because I read this book and I thought, am I gay and I don't know it? I'm only kidding, because I'm very well, but it was so steamy. Because she has a longtime boyfriend, Justin. She meets Allie, who turns out to be her nemesis. And, you know, she has to make a decision between the two. That's the crux of the book. We'll let people figure it out. But she's very messy. What is your message about her? And is it autobiographical, Tinx?
No, Lola is a fictional character, but I really wanted my heroine to be complicated and layered, because we're all complicated and layered. And I wanted her to be messy so that readers could see themselves in her, because we're really all imperfect. We're all works in progress. And if you think about the iconic female heroines that we still talk about, the Carrie Bradshaws, the Hannah Horvaths of the world, they're messy. So that was really important to me.
Why set it in the Hamptons?
Like this?
I love, well, the Hamptons, you know, it's a very rich mom location. My followers know my obsession with rich mom places. And it's, you know, shrouded in mystery. It's luxurious. A lot of drama goes on down there. So I thought it would be a fun backdrop. And it's a summer read. I wanted to transport people there.
But what you did in the Hamptons, there were real places. The Wolfers say, been there. Golden Pear, been there. Been to St. Ambrose. I liked the specificity of what you did. Why did you do that?
When I was growing up and I would read books about New York, I would literally write down the restaurants that they would go to, or if I was reading about glamorous women, I would write down the perfume they were wearing, the lipstick, the shade that they were wearing, because I just love those reference points. So it was very important to me that the book was full of reference points, so people really could get that picture of the Hamptons, get that picture of Lola in their minds.
So, as Gayle says, it's very steamy, it's very spicy, but there's something about you
But it's tasteful steamy.
If that is a thing, yes.
Yes, it's a thing,
But you've been very outspoken throughout your career and leading by example when it comes to women who are shamed for expressing their desires, something that's happened to women over the course of human civilization. Why is that important to you?
I think that I try to lead by example and show my followers and my community that there's really nothing to be ashamed about. You can explore, you can have fantasies. There's nothing to be ashamed about when it comes to your sexuality, and I hope that this book sparks a lot of imaginations.
Yeah, you've also, as often goes, faced some criticism because you also say, look, I'm straight. There's a queer love story featured here. And they're saying, as a straight woman, are you profiting off of this? But you also worked with a queer collaborator, right?
Yes, I actually worked with a collaborator.
But how do you explain the criticism you're getting?
Well, I think it's important to have a queer voice in the room, and that's why I wanted to work with a queer collaborator. So we got that lived experience in the book, and I think we nailed it, and it was an incredible experience working with her. So I can't wait for people to just read it and form their own opinions.
Yeah, I can't either, because I don't want to give anything away about the choices that are made, but there is a message that you're sending in the choices that she ultimately makes.
Yes, I think Lola discovers that you can't lose yourself in any relationship, and that's something I talk about with my community all the time. That's so important to me. It's also a book about friendship and the importance of of keeping your friends while you're in a relationship.
No, it's so relevant. You made references. I love it when people make cultural references that are relevant, like Texas Hold'em. I love some of the menus that were chosen. Really, really good job, Christina. And you also do Summer of Outside. What does that mean?
This is a campaign that I've been running for the past couple years through my podcast, and it's where I encourage my community to put down their phones and really experience life in the real world. So that could mean, you know, instead of going on a dating app, going and smiling and flirting with your barista, or saying yes to that dinner party with your work friend, and really just putting down the phone and going and experiencing life
Wow, man.
offline. And it's gone really well, so everyone should join me this year.
And we should say bravo because it got picked up
That's
by
huge.
by the Foster sisters, Sarah and
Yes.
Aaron. I love those guys.
So
we're going to see it on TV.
We're going to see it on TV. It's such a pinch me moment. The Fosters are so smart. Obviously, they had such a hit show last year, and I'm going to be an executive producer. First time.
Congratulations.
I'm very
That's awesome.
excited.
Let the
Right.
casting begin. A lot of fun roles there. Thank you. Hodder and the Hamptons are on sale where you like to buy your books.